We would like to minimize movement during the session because we are recording, so we don't want the noise coming from the chairs that you're moving around, okay? Also, the noise coming from you, maybe chatting with a friend, okay? Yeah, so we are starting. You can start recording.
Good morning. So our project is security lights around UCU, within and around. And our project title is Creation of a Secure Environment for UCU Students through installation of sustainable low-cost security lighting within and around the university. Now, our project is basically an internal management project. So we didn't need flyers, we didn't need shots or awareness or stuff like that, because we're supposed to pitch it to the university management. The project is basically to put lights within the university area, and then also those that will light outside. If you have realized, the stretch from St. Andrew's and Peter's Church down all the way to Wandegea, then to the pedestrian gate, then from the pedestrian gate all the way to the main gate, then from the main gate all the way to the Anchor Street is a dark place. And students use those roads to reach their hostels. So me and my group members thought it would be wise for us to pitch this idea to management so they can put lights for students who do not sleep inside, and they're the ones who sleep outside, and even those who sleep inside, but they use those routes. The location I have talked about, the St. Andrews and Peter's Church Street, Bishop Tucker Road, and then the Anchor Street. The problem statement: the unsafe residential routes used by UCU students around the university confinements due to poor lighting. We've used these routes, and we have been using them, and we are still using them, but they don't have lights. The moment you get out, you're on your own. And most of our friends have lost property using those streets. This is one of the pictures of the streets at night. This is a video. How do I play this? I tap? Okay. Volume. This video was taken by one of our group members, Preston, in the night, and that's at Anchor Street. Then there is another.
Dark area. No security lights, as you can see.
So this is Bishop Tucker Road during the day. It is safe. All of us can walk through that street without any problem. But in the night, it's a different story.
Dark area. No security lights, as you can see.
Okay, so the objectives were to sensitize the UCU estates, that department that takes care of they're in charge of the furniture, the doors, the classrooms, and the lighting as well. So we pitched this idea to them to let them know that this was actually a problem for them as a university, and also for us as students. Then also to advocate that just in case they have, they say maybe it is an expensive thing or they don't have it in plan as yet, they can push it to when they budget for it. Because by the time we told them about it, this is a university, so they plan ahead. They plan before we come to school, or they plan for a year, or they plan for semesters. So you just can't come in and budge for change. However, this project has been taken aboard. Like, they liked the idea. They are glad that students are coming up with such issues because at times they think it's basically a management issue. But then when students come up and say something like this, they realize it's actually a biting vice. So our target audiences were the students, definitely, then the DVC, Deputy Vice Chancellor External Relations, then the UCU estates, then the UCU security personnel, the police, and the Mukono residents who stay around those roads. Now, we did questionnaires and we gave them out to students who answered. We had a meeting with the DVC, which is still ongoing. The meeting is still ongoing because when we met, as you'll see later on, when we met, we discussed this issue. He bought it, and he told us that he'll get back to us because it's not him who is supposed to make this decision. He's actually supposed, since UCU does not stand alone, and then this project includes lighting the road, then that means that they have to involve the Mukono Municipal Council. So the meeting between the DVC and the Mukono Municipal Council is going on, and today at 2, we are supposed to get information from the DVC. Security personnel, we had a challenge. They were not giving us information in claims of it is confidential. At the end of the day, we had to go to the department and talk to Dr. Chibita, drafted a letter for us, which we have been using in all those cases where we found difficulties in getting information. The time frame, we started on 15th June. We created a group, the lecturer created a group. 16th June, we developed an idea. And we had very many ideas, but we settled for this. Then on 7th June, we developed the body of the project. 10th, we started revisiting project details, and of course with the help of the lecturers in changing certain things like the problem statement. Then on 12th June, we distributed responsibilities, who is supposed to do what and when. Then on 12th June, we started looking for data from those specific people that I mentioned earlier on. Yes, and we anticipate that our project will go till 1st August. Because right now, as long as we don't have any information from the municipal council through the DVC, we can't say anything about the project as yet. Then, yes, we used interviews and questionnaires like I explained earlier on. Our evaluation. The moment that DVC said this is a good idea, we would want to take it up, was a success for us. Because we didn't think it would be, and we didn't even think that it would go this far and then involve the municipal council and all those things. But the fact that he agreed to this idea and said that when we finish, we should not take this as just a class assignment. That when we finish, we get our project and give them the proposal. Because it will need evidence to show that the students really came up with this project and they want this to be done for the better of the university. So the positive response was a success for our project. Cost analysis. We approximated 12 million, but when we met the DVC, it was not like that. It was more than 12 million because we put this analysis because we needed a budget. But when we met with him and told him what we had put in our work, he said, this 12 million can buy one lamp. Yes. Project management. This project required departments, like the people who will be in charge of certain things, the finances, the site where the lamps would be. That means that I'm sorry, I forgot something. When we met with the DVC, he told us that, yes, our project is good, but if they're going to put those lights, they will have to wait for UNRWA to first draw where the road is going to pass. Apparently, they want to expand the Bishop Tucker Road, but they are going to cut UCU land. The pitch, the basketball court, the main gate, all the way through the police, the stationary area, until like the old pitch. They're going to cut because UNRWA thought it was wise to deal with one landlord than dealing with the other many landlords. So UCU is somehow going to suffer the consequences of expanding the road. So they will have to first hear from UNRWA, and where they will have to pass the road reserve and stuff, then they will have to put the lights. So then they will need a site manager and all the other things. Sustainability of the project. We were of the view that at times, if they're going to use wires, underground wires and stuff, and then the UNRWA people will come and then cut part of the school, of the land on UCU area, that means that these wires will be interrupted. So they'll be cut. So what they will do, they're going to get, we suggested that they get aerial wire connections, because those ones, they'll not be damaged during the implementation. Likely outcomes of this project: a significant decrease in theft and loss of property. If there is light, definitely no thief or robber would be that bold to come and grab your bag with a laptop, or grab your bag with your phone, or whatever. Then there will be increased sense of security among students and the people who use those routes. Risk management. Appropriate standards and safety measures shall be observed when the installation of lights takes place. Of course, when you know that when you know that there is lighting where you're going to pass, you're confident, or you know that you're safe. There is a sense of you being safe to use those routes. Then training in case the lamps fall or in case of any accident. The challenges. We had planned to meet with the Director of Students Affairs, but during all this while, she was on leave. So we couldn't meet her. Then also, there's been a delay, like I told you, there's been a delay in receiving a response from the Vice Chancellor, since he said he has to meet with the Municipal Council, and yes. And then also, the UCU police was not willing to give us information until we had to go to the department and then get a letter from Dr. Chibita. That is how they badged and gave us information. Even when we showed them our university IDs, they didn't. Then, failure to get information from the head of security personnel. These are two different offices. There is an office for security, then also there is the UCU police station. All these were not giving us information. This is one of the pictures when we met with the DVC. That as well. And that. Thank you. Oh, questions?
Well, it's not a question, but to give you credit, it was good work.
Thank you for listening to me.
Yes, we have the group for Amoit Claire and Amali Denise. I wonder which group is ready. Let's hear from either of those groups. Yes, let's have Namale Denise's group come and present because with her we have to wait for her video to render. Still loading. Yes, in the meantime, we have some questions for Nalugwa. Laura? Yeah, you can come here. We have some questions for you. I hope I'll be heard from here. We wish to hear from you the various roles. Like within the group, you are a number of people. So what roles did each person do within the group?
We distributed those who were supposed to, should I name who was supposed to do what?
Yes, it's a good idea.
Bridget was supposed to come. You come. No, boss one.
What is better? Could you be having each person coming and mentioning what they did, or you being the one saying not what they did? Let each person come and, yeah.
Okay. I was supposed to interview the guild president and the MP non-residents. Then
I was supposed to do the lead role in a meeting with the DVC and the estates. So I created time for us to get the meeting, and I keep on going back to, it's like, how can you call it, monitoring our steps with the DVC. Yes. Should I mention? Preston, come on.
Maybe take the microphone around. Maybe they prefer that.
Hey guys, mine was basically I was the eyes and ears of the meetings that we used to have. When we went to meet the DVC and when we also went to Buguju to look for the various dark places, I was basically the guy behind the camera. I took the videos and the images you guys see on the slides. So basically I was the part of the media team of the group.
Good morning. I collected data with Aaron, and Apio. We collected data from students through questionnaire, and yeah, we collected their data from them to know their opinions about the security of the routes outside campus.
Good morning. As one of our challenges, they said we failed to meet the DOSA, and that was what I was supposed to do.
You were coordinating that.
Yeah, I was supposed to interview the DOSA, but we checked so many times we could not get an appointment. They told us to keep checking in randomly, but as much as we tried, we couldn't get her.
Yeah, I was supposed to interview the UCU Estates Department, but since we met the DVC, we got the information that we needed from there. So I did not meet the Estates.
Good morning. My group leader, Bridget, allocated me the position of talking to the UCU police and also the security personnel, of which you already know of our challenges that we faced, but despite the fact, we got the information that we wanted. Thank you.
I think now the next group is ready. I'm with Claire's group. Okay, let's have one member present and have the other person work on the video, separating the video. If you have a challenge using that screen, yeah, you have the keyboard and the mouse. But the other weapon also be that get someone to scroll, to forward your PowerPoints page by page. You want? Which one? Your PowerPoint. That is a powerful screen. It can't fail. I think let's do this. Let's have your group move out. Okay? And then call a group that is ready to present. You can't be ready if you're standing here. Because you're giving us an impression that we are recording.
Good morning, everyone. My group are the firefighters. My group are the firefighters. I would like them to stand up for recognition. Please stand up and wave to the audience. Yeah, those are the hardworking group mates of mine, the firefighters. So, to give you a brief background of our project, we were supposed to skill students on how to use fire extinguishers, especially students who sleep in outside hostels. So what we did first was to identify hostels around UCU that mostly accommodate a high number of students, and those were Sosokots, Pameja, Precious, St. Michael's, Victory, Vienna, Tupendane, Alpha and Omega. Those are 8 hostels that we investigated in. How did we find out how the students don't know how to use the extinguishers? We sat down as a group. Is it done? Okay. This is the official introduction of my group. Yeah, I'm Denise, the presenter, the group leader. Our problem statement was students in hostels around UCU lack skills on how to use fire extinguishers. The goal of our group was to equip the students on how to use the fire extinguishers in case of a fire outbreak. Sample hostels, Tupendane, Precious, Victory, Vienna, Alpha and Omega, Bureau, Sosokots, Orange Hostel, St. Michael, and Pameja. Our target audience was mainly the students that sleep in those hostels. Sample study, as I told you earlier on, we sat as a group and we formulated possible questions that students could answer to help us get the positive feedback about our intended project. And we decided to use 22 students. Our findings, okay, we distributed the extinguisher questionnaires, and we later sat down and made a statistical analysis. Okay, this is our file. It has all the questionnaires and everything. So our findings, 8 students know how to use the fire extinguishers. 14 students did not know how to use the extinguishers. This clearly brings out the idea of students not knowing how to use extinguishers. How are they affected? In case of a fire outbreak in these hostels, a lot of property will be destroyed if there is no one who knows how to use them. We were motivated to use this project because of the Makere fire outbreaks that happened in Mary Stewart and Bahati Hostel. We realized that in Mukono, you've never heard about any fire outbreak that really destroyed property. But just imagine it happened, that there was a fire outbreak. Probably this could have been brought about by smokers in hostels, cooking on gas, and even leaving your percolator on. It can cause a fire outbreak. So we said, let's just bring this project to the university and the class at large. Why is it our concern? It's our concern because, recently the Makerere hostels that got banned. Aim of the project, to equip the students on how to use these skills. The background was still because of the outbreaks in Makerere. We don't know if it ever happened in Mukono, but we just used it as a precaution. Next slide. So this is a photo of our sample questionnaire. Hello, we are a group of finalist students from Mass Communication Department. This is just an introduction to just make our people who are answering the questions to feel at home that we are also fellow students like them. What's the name of your hostel? Orange. How long have you been in this hostel? Have you heard of any fire threats in your hostel? Do you know how to use the fire extinguisher? If no, what would you do in case of a fire outbreak? Would you like to learn how to use a fire extinguisher? Those are sample questions for our questionnaire. Next slide. Budget contributions. Our project was not really such a big deal. So all of us contributed 5,000 Ugandan shillings. Our total was 45,000. Next slide. Our expenditure was on printing posters, transport to the venue. Our venue was Victory Hostel. So we transported people who came to, because people are like, why are you making us move? So we're like, okay, we're going to transport you guys to the hostel, printing the letters. We sent letters, first of all, to the DOSA to come and participate with us, the OC of the UCU police, and the head of the fire department of UCU. Then we also used some of the money to print out the questionnaires. So this is a graphical interpretation of the sample, the findings from the sample of the 22 students that we used in our questionnaire. So as you see which color is this? Is this light blue? Sorry, this is a touch screen. Okay. This is, this color, the sky blue represents those who know how to use. Oh, thank you. Then this other one, a little bit of grayish, represents those who don't know how to use. So just by the graphical representation, you see that a large number of students who sleep outside don't know how to use the extinguishers. Then this is the graphical, the bar graph interpretation of the, it shows the number of fire extinguishers found in the different hostels that are located around UCU. So before we came out with skilling students on how to use the extinguishers, we found out which hostel has an extinguisher and which one does not have. To our disappointment, hostels that have even students that pay more than 500,000, some of them don't even have extinguishers. Those who pay 1 million, they don't even have extinguishers. This is a very, very this is a very serious threat towards the life and property of the students. Leah Courts had no extinguisher. Bureau had no extinguisher, unfortunately. Yet one of our members is from there. Vienna had no extinguisher. So the orange color, banange this touch screen. Okay. The orange color is a representation of those who have. So realize that Precious Hostel, where I come from, a girls' hostel, and Victory Hostel, a girls' hostel, only for girls, has very many, girls and boys. It has very many extinguishers. What does this tell you? Some hostels are more alert than others about fire outbreaks. Next slide. Our objectives: to equip students with skills on how to use fire extinguishers, to equip the custodians with skills on how to use fire extinguishers, to promote awareness on the importance of installing fire extinguishers in these hostels. Our strategy: we had 7 strategies on how to implement this. We pinned up picture stories on how to use a fire extinguisher. We made sure that as simple as possible. Simple language. Part 1, do this. Part 2, it was as simple as for anyone, even a P1 kid could understand. Meeting with the Director of Students Affairs, we met her to tell her about our project and how it was important for her to be part of this. Then crafting letters to the custodians. Yes, We had a meeting. We sat with the custodians of the different hostels, the ones which we already wrote in our project, to tell them about our project. And they seemed very, very interested in the project, and they were willing to support us as quickly as possible. Then we did door-to-door advertisements. We went to hostels. We advertised about the demonstration. We told them we'd love them to come and join us. We told them the motive, and we got positive feedback from students. They were like, yes, we have to come and attend, because these skills are not only helping them in their hostels, but even in the nearby future at their workplaces or any place where they see a fire outbreak but they can access a fire extinguisher. They would use these skills. We used video recording. We recorded one of our group mates using a fire extinguisher, operating one, and we distributed it on the different WhatsApp groups. And then we got feedback through long pressing the video to see all those who have viewed. That's the best way we did it, because okay, people gave us positive feedback because the video was just 5 MBs, so people didn't really complain about downloading the video. The best feedback was seen through those who viewed, which means however much they didn't tell us about how they felt, they at least viewed the video. Next. Our target audience, you see students. These will be participating in the firefighting demonstration. Yes, then the hostel custodians. Okay. The hostel custodians, these are the custodians for the hostel. We met with them, we told them about our ideas, and also we got feedback from them, very positive feedback. We also told them that it was very important for them to have at least one extinguisher in their hostel. Director of Students Affairs, the DOSA, she was to come and motivate students to come and also be part of the demonstration, show them how important it was. The affected parties who reside in this hostel, the custodians, and the people in the neighboring environment. Fire outbreaks would not only affect students in the hostels, but even the neighbors themselves. So we had to engage everyone, generally the whole community around hostels. Our key messages. That microphone just doesn't support me. Anyway, she knows my voice is audible. Key messages. This decision was made in the best interest of students in hostels around VCU and safety for their property. We are, as a group, we are committed to training the students on how to operate the extinguishers. They can as well use these skills in the outside world after campus, probably at their workplaces or homes. Channels of communication. We wrote articles. One of the articles appeared in the Standard, pinning up picture stories on the different notice boards, video demonstrations that were sent to the different WhatsApp groups. We also sent announcements during community worship, and we also held meetings with the student leadership. That means the guild president and the general guild government on the importance of them coming to participate in our project. Next. Time scale. 6th June, that's when we established the new idea. All group members participated. 16th June, distribution of responsibilities. For distribution of responsibilities, we also have a slide for it. 13th June, approval of the posters to be pinned on the notice boards. All the group members participated. 14th June, pinning up of the posters on the notice boards. This was to be done by Judith and Ogo Paul Santos, though we also took our posters to the different hostels we sleep in. Therefore, everyone participated. 14th June, meeting of the OC, the officer in charge of the UCU police, and also the head of the the fire department of UCU. Next slide. Our responsibilities. When I read your name, you stand up, and I also tell the crowd what your responsibility was. Chakima Judith. She was in charge of pinning up the posters on the use of fire extinguishers. Ogo Paul Santos, please stand up. Yeah, that gentleman there, he was also in charge of pinning up the posters in the boys' dormitories because we're not given access to them. So he pinned there. Yes, he pinned them and also took to his hostel. Denise, the group leader, I met the OC of the university. Okay, we had so many responsibilities. Everyone contributed to paying. That was a responsibility, a financial responsibility. Then, we all contributed ideas in a meeting. That was our responsibility. Then Noahera Rachel, please stand up. Smile to the audience. Why are you sad? That's Noahera Rachel. She drafted the letters to the custodian. She was generally the one who was in charge of writing the letters. And we kept on reviewing as a group before we took them. Atira Gift Lena, monitoring the printing of the story pictures, yes. She monitored, she made sure all of us contribute because every poster was 1,000 shillings. So it was kind of costly for us, but she made sure they were printed. Kamami Daniela, yes, she was in charge of meeting the fire brigade department of Mukono, and she did so. Wafaya Mary Francis, she's the lady that we recorded like operating the extinguisher, and she's the one who featured in the video that went around different WhatsApp groups. Next slide. Oh, Frida, please stand up. She downloaded, the lady you see that stood up, she downloaded the internet photos that you see all over campus. She also contributed to the different project ideas in our meetings and also contributed money. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the sample of our extinguisher poster that we've been pinning up. I'm sure most of you have seen it. Yes, it's first wait. This clearly shows you. Part 1, pull the pin. Part 2, aim the nozzle at the base of the fire. Part 3, squeeze the handle. Part 4, sweep from side to side. That's like the best project idea that we got from the internet. So attached are the photos of my privileged group members pinning up the posters. Slide. That's Frida, that's Chakimwa, that's Rachel, that's me, and that's Daniela. Evaluation. We will carry out registration of students who attend the demonstration. From there, we will give them questionnaires and evaluate how their demonstrations were. In that file that I gave the lecturers, it has all the questionnaires that we used and all the answers. Next slide. Participants filling in questionnaires. We are at Victory Hostel, and our participants were filling in questionnaires. Even some participants were from this class. Then the video clip. Is it for touch screening? Hey. Okay. It's where? Okay, first be flipping to the next stars. But would like to. Okay, generally, that's the summary of our project and our video. Okay, number of students. Those who came to participate, these are the number of students that came to participate. All the hostels were represented because when we were going to advertise about this project, each of us was given a responsibility to come with two students to participate in this project, to represent their hostels. And we are very privileged to have them all participate. And they all filled in the questionnaires. Thank you, Mr. Technician. Videos. This one, eh? Okay. Which one is it? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please let me have your attention here. This is first retake, wait. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Wafaya Mary Francis carrying out the demonstration. People actually ran away from this part, but the viewers were these ends because. Okay, here you go. The voice is kind of low, but we first took them through why they were there. Then we showed them how they can use the extinguisher. Is there any other video? Okay, there are 2 videos. There you go. Is it the same? Okay, first. I think there are 2 videos. Thank you. Then here you go. Okay, the voice is kind of low, but there she's just going to show you everything on all the steps on how to use. She first put papers on the ground. Then you can be in the she pulled that tube that brings out the carbon flavored gas. Then please look here. Then she lit. Okay, she was describing. Sorry, the voice is low, but she's going to set a fire on these papers.
So when you're using it,
Here she was showing them the steps.
nozzle at the base of the fire, like I'm going to show you.
So there she's lighting. I think you can see all of us at Victory Hostel. Other participants shied away, unfortunately, but they were also there. I think you can see them at the back, behind the tree. All of them are there. Okay. I think this was the first video, and the other one was done, which was extinguishing. That's the last. Ladies and gentlemen, I request all my groupmates to stand up as you give them a round of applause because they're... Stand up. Stand up. Yes, that's the group of 9 students that I worked with to put up this project to this day. Thank you so much for listening. Yes, Santos also participated. Any questions? Any questions? Okay.
Thank you very much for that presentation. You mentioned that you published an article in the Standard. Is it possible to know, 1, which edition of the Standard that was, and 2, is it possible to have a copy? In future, you include that in your presentation as well.
I actually thought that we were going to hand in this project on the e-learning platform because we had compiled it on a laptop. So every proof is there for everything. So I'll find a way of giving the lecturer the Standard newspaper and all the details. Yes, Claire?
I wanted to know, you only went to hostels, and I was suggesting, what about Sabiti?
Well, our project was to deal with students who sleep outside. Because when we met the fire brigade person of UCU to help us with an extinguisher, he told us, you don't need to carry out this demonstration in campus. Sabiti has RAs. RAs are annually trained on how to use extinguishers. So he was like, there is no way over 4 RAs can fail to operate an extinguisher when there's a fire outbreak, and there is no way they can all be absent when there's a fire outbreak. That is why we did not focus on students who sleep inside. By the way, even students who came for these demonstrations, some of them were sleeping in Sabiti. So I'm sure some of them got the skills. Thank you. Yes, John? It's okay, you can speak from there. Evaluation? Please, sir, please take us back to the evaluation. Have you removed that? Okay, please ask.
Yes. That's the last question we are taking.
Evaluation is here. We'll carry out.
We will carry out registration of students. I don't know.
That was a proposal, yeah? So when we were doing this slide share, first give me a break. When we were doing this slide share, we just copied and pasted from our proposal. That's why when I was speaking, I said we carried out registration of students and gave them the questionnaires, which they answered. Next question. Yes, we are very aware. That's why I spoke in past tense, even if the question was in present. Okay, thank you for asking.
Yes, I'm expressing a concern here. There's too much noise coming from the back. Okay? We are recording, and whatever noise you're creating is being recorded.
Good morning. Yeah, this is the UCU Fit group that you all know. As you see, our key message here was to keep you fit, keep fit. And as you can see, these are our group mates, my friends, my teammates. I call them my teammates, not group mates, because we worked as a team. Everything that we did was as a team. So, introduction, Our major aim in this project was to bring in the fitness program to students and staff of UCU. Though, as we all know, most of us don't want to exercise. We really faced a challenge with forcing people to come and attend this project. This gives us a background of what you're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the background. Did you know that in UCU, in the year 2003, there was a club called the Plus Club that used to carry out aerobics? But when those students left, the club died with them, and aerobics also died. So we never had aerobics since then. And most of us have been just going. The sports people would only go and exercise. Some of us would just go jog a bit and come back. So we decided to bring up this club, this program, to encourage students to keep fit. In that, we forced you students and staff members. We didn't, but we tried to force you to come and join us because most of you had really refused. As you can see, according to Chibuya, the gym instructor, the gym instructor said that out of the students that are in UCU, we are over, I think, 2,000 students. I think so. But out of all those students, only 60 students go to the gym or exercise daily. And out of those, 25 of them are sportsmen and women, while the 35 are regular students, which means, I'm sure in this class, all of us know to go to the gym. I am sure. Out of these 60, I'm sure none of us goes to the gym. So this is a real challenge, health-wise, and physical, and the physical side of it. As you can see, this is a graph showing. These are the sportsmen and women, ordinary students and also ordinary female and male, which means the rest of us we do not exercise at all. So when we go on, we shall look at our gym. Another challenge we're facing in the gym is that most of the people in the gym are mostly the male students. So the female students maybe will go dressed in their outfits and they're maybe shying away to exercise. You're going to turn your back and someone's going to start looking at you. So it's kind of uncomfortable. So we also got it as a challenge for most of the students here. As we see, the gym is mostly occupied by the men. Another thing is the gym is really small. So we try to give it out to the administrators, show them that we really have a challenge. If they can make a bigger gym, or maybe they put these gym exercising machines outside where most of us can participate actively, it will be a good thing. When we continue, most of the ladies are uncomfortable, as I talked about. The staff, actually, another problem is our staff members do not use the gym at all. It's only the staff members from the sports office. Our dear lecturers will testify to that. Most of us, they only come and lecture us and do not go and exercise. So, on the other side, they're also affecting their health negatively. So, we shall go to our problem statement. When we went to Alan Galpin, as our challenges are there, we really went to Alan Galpin and sat there for 2 weeks looking for information. But when we managed to we discovered that we have obese students in UCU. There are obese students and those students who are overweight. So the problem was really coming in. When I talked to Nabukera Louise, a student in UCU, she was 82 kilograms. But when I asked her, she told me, but I exercise. I asked her, how do you exercise? I just jog around the stairs every morning and evening as I go to Sabiti and I come down and I try to lose weight, but I've failed. And I asked her, how do you eat? Yeah, we try to eat DH food, but we're tired of the rice and all that. So she was giving her side. So when you look at this factor, we look at how Nabukera is not losing weight at all. Because when you exercise, you have to lose at least 2,000 calories per day. So if you're not burning even 500, you're wasting your time. When you go on, the problem statement continues. Most of the problem is on the ladies' side. We shall look at the gents on the other aspect, but the ladies, most of us, even the way we walk on campus, we can see it. Our friends will cover the road issue, look at them. Most of us move sluggishly, not because we cannot move, but because of our health. You cannot move because you're sure you're going to get muscle pull. Then, you see the graph shows here. Okay, we can see 84% of the students here are normal. But if you look at the high blood pressure and the low blood pressure, only this 10% of people who have high blood pressure is already a big number. By the time you have high blood pressure at this age, what will you do at 65? Then we're going to look at also those students who are overweight, underweight, and obese. Look at obese. If you're obese at this age, ladies and gentlemen, your future is not right. We go on situation analysis. We shall look at over the 100 cases that are being talked about in Alan Galpin. Out of the 100 cases they received, 40% are caused due to lack of exercises. Most of us go because we have headache, we have joint pain, we have backache, but have you ever hit the gym? Have you ever gone to jog around the pitch just once a day? Never. But the first thing we complain about, Alan Gap is not treating us well, they're giving us wrong medication. Please try to exercise and you'll see the difference. Let me go back a little bit. Even the Ministry of Health shows it. 43% of deaths, not diseases, this time we're talking about death. 43% of the deaths are caused due to the non-communicable diseases, which means those diseases that we got because we don't exercise. Shall we continue? Strategy was to create a new perspective of health living by enhancing fitness ideas and skills to the UCU community. When we go to our objectives, as we can see, introduce an exercising culture and help students keep fit by exercising. Our target audience, first of all, were the students. Then I put them as number 2. The aerobics instructor, okay, the staff of UCU, and the gym supervisors. Though the staff of UCU did not participate really at a large extent, but we try to encourage them. When we got the channels of communication, we used the standard newspaper. Though we tried to go there to pitch our information, but the fact that at that time the stories had already run, we could not give in our story, but they said they would help us put it up. But our project has already ended, so I don't know how they'll try. And the flyers, we also the flyers, didn't we? If you didn't see, I'm sorry. Community worship, for those who attended community worship on the 25th, this was the day on the 26th is when we announced this, our project. UCU Focus, for those who watched community worship on the Thursday after the 26th, we will see that they put up our story to run. Social media, we're all in the WhatsApp group. Who was at the WhatsApp group? Please put up your hand. I'm sorry. Justification. Our time scale, we will see, for us, unlike other groups, our project unfortunately happened very early. We decided to put it up very early. So our project commenced on the 17th of May. We went on, as you could see, because an hour was the first, I think, to be implemented. On the 25th of June, we implemented our program, our project that we also, some of us attended, some of us didn't attend, and it lasted 3 weeks, which this week is the last week. Our budget, unfortunately, most of you were over talking about our budget. All of us contributed 40,000. Keep your comments. 40,000. And out of that 40,000, we had to pay. First were the t-shirts. We also our t-shirts. So all looking smart in our black t-shirts. I forgot to put it on, please. And yes. Then the water. Some of us who were exercising, we saw the water. Our friends who turned up. Please next time don't forget to turn up. We saw the flyers. And the trainer who was already there. The music for the speakers. And our total was 545,000 in total. Yes. Then we went for the evaluation project. We evaluated how, first of all, we're using questionnaires to evaluate how students how they will feel after the project. Then also we saw other measures and seeing how students will be attending from the small number to the big number, like that. So we went on to the project, the poster. Remember our poster? This is our project, UCU Fit. It was there every Wednesday and Thursday, so whoever missed, I'm sorry. Our beautiful t-shirts. Please, for those who didn't see them, you can take a look from here. The evaluation tool, as I told you, we use videos, the interview, and then during that, we interviewed students. For those, unfortunately, our video for the interview could not load, but because we had some technical issues. But not during our project, we experienced a lot of technical failures. The main reason that we faced, the main challenge was the machines. The Nkoyoyo people really tossed us up and down till we gave up. But before I continue, I want to thank Chijambu Godfrey Bruno. Please stand up. That gentleman, as we were stranded, we had no speaker. He came up with his own Bluetooth speaker, and most of us attended because he brought his own speaker. So I'm really grateful. Chijambu, thank you very much. Yeah. Then, well done, team. Thank you, that team. Thank you very much for coming up, and thank you for everything. Then I want also to bring our, I think it's our what? Video. You could see, I think I want us to see our video. Yes. As we see. At first, this was the first day, the number was really so low. We tried to advertise, we tried to tell students to come and attend, but as you see, the number was really low. And our camera guy, Chijambu Bruno, did all this, as you can see. No, it was really hard on the first day. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Mushikoma, come back. Come back, come back.
Stop the video so that we can take your questions.
I have a question. When you are measuring that student who said was
82 kilograms.
82 kilograms. So when you are measuring the obesity, did that student give you the BMI?
Yeah, she did, because we were at Alan Galpin when we met her. I was with Joan. Unfortunately, Joan is not here with me. We were with Joan and we met her there. We had gone to talk to the director,
Yes, please.
Alan Galpin, and he asked actually who would volunteer. And the lady stood up and said, I can't volunteer. So when they measured her, actually she was not so tall, she was just short. And she's like, most ladies who are short have this problem. They may think because I'm short, I can't put on that much weight, I cannot really be obese, but their weight is more than that person who is tall because of the level of fat and calories they have in their bodies.
Okay, just a recommendation.
Yeah.
Please include that next time.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, please, Bella. Yeah. Yes, because first of all, the major cause of goiter is stress. Did you know that for the ladies? And lack of iron, true. So if you exercise regularly and you eat right, quote me right, and you eat right, by the way, on the WhatsApp group, they would always post ways to eat healthy, because most of us eat wrongly. So if you eat healthy and you exercise, this is like goiter can really be avoided. Yes, Bridget, the last question. As you have said, a few friends. Yes, the reason why I emphasize is because I really emphasized aerobics is really something that is really fun. Unlike going there and you start carrying machines, aerobics is really something that you can put in effort and you really enjoy it. But we encouraged you and forced you to attend, but you didn't. Mostly you, Bridget, you didn't attend. Yes.
Thank you. Dear audience, I'm so sorry to drive you back to my group, but there was a member, I don't know, I just forgot by mistake, I'm really sorry, but please, Nkurunziza Peter, stand up for recognition. This is Nkurunziza Peter. He carried out the statistical analysis for the results from the demonstration. I'm so sorry for not having mentioned.
It is okay.
Okay, thank you very much for the 3 presentations that we've had. Oh, okay. Claire needs to react to something.
Mr. Mulani has told me that I talked about in 2002 the Plus Club that was already there, that used to bring aerobics, how they left and they left with the club. What new thing are we bringing in that can change this club, that can change aerobics in UCU? Okay, the truth is we didn't bring in, the only new thing that we brought in was to motivate students to come by, enticing them, glucose, water, music. Because the club before never had music. They only used to do aerobics. Just they would have an instructor and go on and use the music. Like the instructor would just tell them, do this, do this, do that. But this time, we brought music and water and glucose to encourage them to attend. That's a new thing we added.
Group members? When we mentioned yesterday.
Yeah, the group members, I forgot to talk about them. Senior Mercy, she was the treasurer and in charge of the market, like purchasing of goods, of whatever we needed. Then Mushikoma, as we can see, he was also participating, and he's the one who passed on the announcement in what? At Nkoyoyo. Chijambu, I talked about Chijambu. He played a very important role. Joan, who is not here with us, Joan was with me when we tossed around to collect the data. We tossed, and also the first day implementation, though she wasn't there. And the other person in our group, Miriam and Sharon, they are the ones who were in charge of the flyers. And also they participate in the what? In the activity. Have I forgotten? Omit Simon, he participated in the activity. Yeah, Mugisha Frank and Edrona, I'd forgotten. Mugisha Frank and Edrona, those people were in charge of welfare, like they were done distributing water and also participated in the activity. All of us participated.
Okay, thank you for the presentations. We are winding up because I think it's time for community worship. Already? Okay, we are late all the same. Yes, but we are having other sessions after lunch. I think we have 2 hours. No, during my tutorial hours. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm planning for. I meet one group, then I meet another one. So we are having those 2 hours. Yeah, again here. Okay? So we meet after lunch. Please keep time. And let us, before we leave this place, know that we have had group 1, 2, and 3 presenting. So that would mean 4, 5, and 6 will present after lunch. And if time permits, then we might do more groups, yes?
Group 2, they have crisis immediately after lunch.
After lunch, huh? Yeah, please, now it's, yes, we are very organized when we are creating these groups. At least we know that these groups were formed according to the tutorial groups, okay? So those who don't have a commitment at 2, yeah, you come and then you present. So I wonder what that means according to the arrangement that we have here. Where did I? No. This is where I had the order. Okay, so we have the following groups that are yet to present. So maybe let's leave here when we know which group is presenting after lunch. We have Nampera Rachel's group, Kabale Benjamin at Shina, Kasasira Regan, Dennis Musumba, Igumira John, Agwang Martha. Which groups are free at 2? So we have 3.
Group 9 first.
Group 9 goes first.
Yes.
No, okay. Group 9 goes first.
Yes.
Group 4 is available.
Then group.
Then group 4.
Group 4.
4 first, then 9.
Okay. Okay, group 4 first. Then group 8.
Group 8.
Good afternoon. I'm presenting our slides on e-learning, and our key message was embrace e-learning to bring about a paper-free environment, or in this case, a university. So in our background, we see that e-learning has been around since we actually joined in 2015, but we haven't really taken up the opportunities to actually use its facilities. And as we interviewed some of the heads of department, like Dr. Chibita, concerning the platform, she admits that to have trained the people on the platform, but she points out the benefits also of the platform, being that we have tested some of these benefits. Handing in work, you do not have to pay for it, you just have to put data, even 25 MBs are enough, which are really only just very cheap. So our objectives were to create awareness among third-year mass communication students about the e-learning platform, which I must say we have done successfully, to grow the numbers of students using the e-learning platform, to set up a section of frequently asked questions, that's the FAQs on the platform, and also to come up with the list of FAQs from the mass communication students. Now, with this, we realized that the platform is under renovation, now these are going to be actually considered. As we're working with Mark Biamukama, he was telling us about how they're going to renovate, first of all, the UCU site and also the e-learning platform. Some of these things are going to be renovated, but when they need some of the frequently asked questions, we shall be contacted and how we shall actually work with them. Moving on, the target audiences were mass communication students, third-year mass communication students. Dorothy, the head of the e-learning team, Mark and Edwin, the staff members at the e-learning resource center, will also be targeted. Now, the reason why we actually included the people who actually work with this platform was we didn't want to actually exclude them because they also needed some ideas as well to see how to better improve the platform, but not only that, but how to encourage the students who are maybe in the years below us to really come to the platform and improve it and see how they are motivated to use it, because as we can see in the near future, for us, our vision was in the near future, in the next 3 years or 5, this year, the UCU University will not need to use papers to actually hand in coursework or maybe projects. We don't need to actually use papers, but we use the e-learning platform to submit and also communicate to our lecturers personally. So our general purpose was to create more engagement between the third-year mass communication students and lecturers about e-learning. So we talked to some lecturers about e-learning. Basically, we talked to Dr. Monica Chibita about e-learning, and she was able to give us some information, which was e-learning as a platform is not new. But students were actually taught how to use the e-learning platform, and they are not motivated as students. What does she mean? She means motivation. Lecturers are still using the stuff of handing in coursework using papers. So a person cannot use a platform which he's not well versed with. Just handing in coursework is actually quite easy. But as humans, we are curious. You would want to know, okay, I'm handing in coursework, but how can I also maybe chat with a friend about maybe certain type of coursework, also get information from the e-library. And did you know you had space of 1 GB to keep your personal files on this platform? Did you know that? If you didn't, well, the time is here. Now, our communication channels were social media, was our main communication channel, because it's easier to get students through the groups, and also Facebook, where we have a Facebook account for Mass Communication Practicum class in particular. We shall also talk word of mouth, which we used on one of them. An example was Johnny Gumira and Presto Makuyu, who are part of our success stories in terms of evaluation of our project. Okay, the steps of our project were idea development, which all of us went through, concept review. We actually reviewed, because our first concept was using technology to really better the learning experience in class. But then we reviewed it, now we narrowed it down to using e-learning as a platform to better our interaction, first of all, with the students and also the lecturers, to get to them and to make life easier. And also concept pitching and review. You remember the times we actually used to use placards to actually just put out our concepts and maybe review them, get ideas here and there. Then all in all, evaluation, which we're here to do today. Role description. Our group head was Patricia Tibaijuka, who actually headed all the operations of our group. Evaluator was Kabale Benjamin, that's me. Biaho Byron. Action point managers, what do I mean? People who actually went out to do research, who actually went out to find out more information about e-learning, who went out to actually maybe get equipment also. Yeah. Now, our two main researchers were Brea Olivia and Adiru Hope. Now, these were getting information that is statistics on e-learning, how we are doing in terms of e-learning. Are we doing progress? Do we need some more effort? Do we need a plan B? Is it actually progressing as we want it? Yeah. This is basically how we leveled our group. So, research on the project, literature. Under this, we talked about different persons influencing, like for example, Dr. and Mark Biamukama, from the Mass Comm department. Now, with Dr. Chibita, she actually advised us in terms of e-learning, we should not take it as maybe a project, because it's one project that even if we say we are done, we won't be done, because with technology, advancements come even after a month. So she advised us to actually just have our ideas on table, let us liaise and discuss with the e-learning platform managers and see how best we can do it. Of course, we might not be well versed with the platform, yes, but we can get information that will make us maybe evaluate our work and also see how we can really make our project be the winning project. So, Mark identified some challenges on the platform whereby only a quarter of mass communication students have used the platform. This was because of two things. One, motivation to actually use it from the lecturers, and also now personal motivation, because really this is a platform for us. Two, students are not eager to try new innovations that the platform has to offer. New innovations, I actually told you at the beginning, we have 1 GB for us. It's on our tuition. You talk about, I've lost my work, my laptop crashed, my phone was stolen, my work was on my phone, but you have 1 GB online. You could actually access it anywhere. You can get maybe to the Learning Commons and you access your work and you hand it in. The platform may not be able to support heavy videos. This is very true. The video that we had to make, we had to tone it down to actually upload it on the platform. The lecturers organize discussions on the platform. At the same time, lectures are going on. This came out as a result of when this platform was initially formed. They had to make a schedule between lectures and the e-learning platform, but it's not going so well. As you can see, we have more lectures than e-learning or than on e-learning. So this is a problem whereby we need more engagement on the e-learning platform, whereby we can have discussions. Maybe with the lecturer, he might not be in class, he might not be in class, but he can send something like a question, and we discuss online. You can be in your room. It's better than actually having a mass communication group on WhatsApp, whereby we are discussing some controversial things in life, but then on the platform, we can be discussing something that will benefit us as well. It can be in terms of, we can evaluate our coursework using that. Now, lack of enough motivation from staff to students. Motivation, what do I mean? Instead of us handing in work, of course, we have just experienced it fully this semester in the practicum class, handing in work on the e-learning platform. But as you can see, all our course units, we are doing only paperwork. Yes, we are getting information. They are sending information, for example, in crisis management. We are sending information they are sending information for us to read, but we are not sending our work for her to read on the platform. Like, for example, our Dr. Marapako, we are using hard copies. This is expensive to us. Yes, we're in groups, but still expensive to us who actually print. Students neglect the platform because of the excuse of having not enough data or having no passwords. Yeah, these are excuses at times, but sometimes it's actually a very legitimate concern. When they do not have data, as you can see now, social media is taxed. You can see now data, if you do not have more than 100 MBs, your phone, after 5 minutes, will just tell you, you have used 90%, because these smartphones now are demanding. And also having passwords. Now, we saw that having passwords, you have to have registered initially. You have to have registered with that first half of the tuition, or at least the full tuition. But if you haven't registered, you cannot attain this type of facilities. And of course, not all of us are of the same footing from our families. Some of us are from hammer families. We can actually pay after some time. So this was a problem. Also, most importantly, not have the basic knowledge of how to navigate the site. Now, one of our success stories, Johnny Gumira, didn't have basic knowledge of how to navigate the site. This is not his fault. This is not his fault. We actually found out that engaging him peer-to-peer, he was actually more comfortable in actually using this site. He was more comfortable. He could ask questions freely without bias. But because when we're in class, we are very many, can get distracted somehow, maybe a call. But now when we got him in his free time, we engaged him peer-to-peer, Preston. They were able to really come up, and as he can confess right now, his work is up on the site. And that's a success on our side. Now, our time scale. 12th June was to interview heads of department. 18th June to 22nd, June was speaking and noticing to trends of the platform, which we did. 25th to 27th June, shooting and editing the video. If you have gone and you're enrolled on Practicum, of which I'm happy to say many of you are enrolled, just very few are sending work on Facebook, you have seen this video. It was uploaded a week ago. Also interviewed Johnny Gumira and challenges faced with the platform. He had quite a number, and we were able to solve a few. July project evaluation. Now, with this project evaluation, we felt it was premature to evaluate this project because it's an ongoing project with us, but also with the university, because now they are revamping the e-learning platform to really suit everybody. So we request to continue work on the e-learning team, with the e-learning team, to give them a student point of view. Methods of action. Person-to-person interaction. As you can see there, we decided to take personal interaction with the students and tutor them on how to go around the platform at their leisure. Because you cannot start teaching a person, e-learning is good when a person is stressed with coursework. We just decided, after a long day, we just take you, we just took them aside. We're like, just spare 5 minutes to listen to what we have to say. There are these lovely ladies who are able to do that, some of the ladies. And also, we had to find out why the students were not jumping to the idea of the platform that was promoting a paper-free society. We're able to find out that it is not that they don't want, it is that they just aren't motivated enough to use this platform. Because as you can see, it uses data. We discussed with Mark about having an app, because, well, these days, the 21st century, having an app is the in thing. But he was to say that, okay, when you have an app, this is an international platform, Moodle. For us, we use it as e-learning, UCU, but this is Moodle. It's an international platform. You cannot just have an app for UCU. Because even the Moodle platform can have changes which you cannot readily change with your app. So you rather use the online thing just to access the app. And sometimes, like for example, 4 days ago, last week, for 4 days, this platform was down. We noticed this. On Friday, we were handing in our work when we noticed this, but I had noticed 4 days earlier. But the platform was down. Why? Now, such a problem can actually really give you a challenge. We also used video clips, another point of our campaign. Now, with that video, we're mostly basing, the angle was, how does a person navigate this platform? How does a person who's really just starting out, how does he navigate this platform? Because we can tell you, e-learning is great, but then your question will be, okay, it's great. How do I use it? You cannot just say, so let me sit you down. Us as 21st century students, we are used to visual aids. Something that I can keep, I'm like, oh wait, I have a video, I can actually use this video to help me navigate in my leisure time. So we just had to put up a video. Some silence.
Wow. Other people are struggling to beat coursework deadlines. You on your phone, sir. Kongs.
But why are you struggling with paper? Have you heard of e-learning?
Now, what on earth is e-learning? And how does it apply to my current situation of stress?
Let me tell you what e-learning is.
Okay, tell me.
So we are on the platform, and the platform is elearning.ucu.ac.ug. And here they just require you to put in that password you used to log in with Wi-Fi. So you use it and then you log in. When you log in, it will brings you your profile, and this is your profile really here. So just it shows your progress, what you've been doing with it, and generally your things. But what you do, you go to site home, and when you go to site home, it will bring you your faculties, and you go to your faculty. You do journalism and mass communication. So when you click on journalism and mass communication, it brings you your courses, but also it brings you the years that you're doing. So you go to year 3, mass communication. When you go to year 3, of Mass Communication. This is how it looks like. But then you scroll down, and then you search for really the courses that you want to do. So let me say, let's search for, let's say, audience research. Let's just research for audience research.
Look, okay, that was part of the video we actually uploaded on the, with the help of Madam Namusoga on the e-learning platform, Communication Practicum. All right, going ahead, analysis of our methods. We had advantages. Students are more comfortable and more compliant with it. That is mostly with the video and person to person. We got to know why the students were not using the platform, because of course some of them didn't know actually how to navigate it. Students felt more comfortable with peers because they can ask them questions freely. We have to admit this is actually an advantage, because with a peer, you can ask them questions in your own leisure time and they will actually respond to you whether on social media or in person. The disadvantage, it was time consuming. For example, peer-to-peer, we had to actually round up some of the students, and sometimes we didn't have time, we had to wait for them, we had to schedule time in between their coursework guide. So they required a constant availability of internet connection. Now to check on how the progress is on e-learning. And also students will only need help when handling coursework. This we saw mostly, our inboxes were buzzing mostly on Friday when the platform was done and they were handing in coursework. So here's some of the analysis that we did in terms of Communication Practicum. The users, as you can see, reflection paper. It was most used and viewed because of the reflection paper. And now you see, when the e-learning platform was it was used now in between here and here. It was not used because they were not handing in anything. So they were not actually curious to actually use it. Now here, this was now Friday when the e-learning platform came back online. That was after lunch. It spiked. Okay, our success stories were from Preston. He started using the e-learning platform and he does not want to go back to printing at all. He does not want. E-learning platform, he's there. Johnny Gumina was a little skeptic because of the multiple stages to go through, how to enroll, how to get a password, but we were patient with him. He was a very good student, and actually he went with us, he enrolled, and he was able to hand in his work. If they did it, you can also did it. Okay. Our discoveries. Students mostly enroll on the platform if a lecturer uploads information or handing in work. This is so true. The platform lacks FAQs, the FAQ section, and also which students can actually use to really navigate the platform if they have any burning question. Students prefer social media like Facebook to the e-learning platform. As you can see, when we're handing in our first pieces of work, students mostly used Facebook instead of the e-learning platform. Some lecturers still prefer hard copy to soft copy. That is e-learning. They still prefer it. The platform has a chat feature. Endeavor to use it, please. I hope you knew it was there. Now, pros and cons of our project. A good number of students have enrolled and have taken up the e-learning platform. Students got out of their comfort zone and embraced the e-learning platform. The numbers, we have the statistics, right? We have them. The numbers are actually alarming and were actually very good. They were engaging. The lecturers found it easier to collect work and give assignments and read-ups on the e-learning platform, of which we now see. Okay, in wrap-ups, difficulty in convincing students and missing some lectures, of course, to the video. Evaluation, we believe the project was a success because we saw a good number of students enrolled on the e-learning platform. Recommendations, let's use flyers and also to just inform the students. The university should also engage lecturers more in using the e-learning than papers. Okay, our final conclusion, sorry. Just a second. Our final conclusion, teamwork is always best. Always have a plan B. Technology is the way to go. Don't be left behind. Some moments when we're actually having fun as we did our work. My teammates were Kabali Benjamin, Abaho, Patricia, Biriaho Byron, Chebet Sandra, Luburo Akram, Adiru Hope, Briaba Olivia, and Sharon K. Lena Winnie. Now this team was one of a kind. We became family. Thank you. Any questions?
I was going to.
You've told us e-learning, when you're showing us the scale of how people are performing in your campaign. Yes. And you showed us people participated more in handling response. When you're handling the reflection paper, that's where the raise good time. Don't you think you left out the main issue of the campaign where it was supposed to be, let's use this e-learning platform in a way that it's not only about handling coursework, because there are even notes put there. It's like a reading platform for everyone. So, in your recommendations, don't you think you would have said that was like a challenge?
We actually put it there in the recommendations, not for us to engage in e-learning just because we're handing in work, but to engage in learning because we actually have work we are searching for. Now, because I didn't have enough time, I actually didn't go through them. That spike that you saw was not because they were handling, okay, it was because they were handling work, but people were actually engaging, they were viewing. I was rushing through, but they were actually viewing the work. Giving an example, crisis management. They might not have downloaded it, but they actually viewed it. This site is quite good, it will show you, even if you just view and not download, they will show. So people are actually curious enough to work there. They are there, they are using that, meaning that they enrolled. So to us, that's a success. Any more questions?
One more question, if there's any.
Something commendable about your work is that you made an analysis of the methods that you used. That's an innovation. Thank you.
From an editor's perspective, you need to work on your spelling.
It's the one research.
Okay, thank you very much.
Let's have the next group. We don't have
Four.
time.
Rachel is here.
Rachel?
Good afternoon, everyone. I worked with poor toilet management and use in UCU. And our key message was a toilet is a restroom. Our group name was R&J Solutions. We were 9 group members in my group, and 3 boys and 6 girls. Our introduction was based on poor management and toilet use, not in UCU basically, but our introduction also involved poor toilet use in Uganda. And we based this on different assumptions. There were 2 main assumptions. One, where people had no idea on how to use toilets.
Some people come to UCU and truth is they mostly use pit latrines. So when they come to the toilet, they don't know what to do. And others were not well trained in childhood, especially if you have gone through high school. You know that you do what you want. No one really tells you how to take care of the toilet or how to keep it clean. And so with these mannerisms, they grow, and by the time you arrive in a esteemed community like UCU, you're still using the mannerisms that you learned back then. I don't know. Our background, the toilets around UCU were provided in abundance. We have so many toilets around UCU. I think we have close to, okay, not I think, but we have close to, close to 10 toilets, like blocks, not toilets, like individual toilets, but blocks. We have one in Sabiti, one in Sivambi, two here, two at N Block, one before Nkoyoyo, and then one on Koyoyo, and the canteen toilets. And we discovered that UCU students fail to flush the toilets after use. You find that someone will go, urinate, and what? And not flush, or even have a long call and not flush. And also, we discovered that management didn't provide toilet paper. If they did, they only provided in the morning, and by the number of people that use the toilets, by lunchtime or even noon, toilet paper is done. So the rest of the day, someone comes to use the toilet and there's no toilet paper. And due to the insufficient flushing, the toilet started producing a bad smell. And that was canteen toilets and Sabiti, because those were our two main toilets, or study areas. Yes. And then you'd find that sometimes the toilets lacked water, whether for washing hands or flushing. So you'd find that someone goes there, does their business, comes to flush, and nothing is happening. So they leave the toilet dirty. And yeah, lack of washing soap with the washing basin. Our problem statement was UCU toilet management has continued to be absurd in the toilets, especially for our case study, which was the canteen toilets, like I told you, and Sabiti. I left without toilet paper, which is needed by students for use. There's no hand washing soap, and sometimes no water for flushing, which has led to poor hygiene in the toilets, and in the long run, resulting to poor toilet use by the students. That was our toilet problem statement. Our scope, we discovered that there are close to 180 toilets in Sabiti alone, and none of these toilets have toilet paper provided, and neither do they have washing soap provided. And if you go to D block, and what's this first one? A, down. You find that the drainage was leaking. So you go to do your business and someone above you is also doing their business, so it ends up dropping on you. No, don't laugh, it's serious. And then, no, I've finished. And then we discovered that 2 out of 5 blocks were provided with washing soap once or twice a month. And during our long-run case study, we discovered that actually this semester they hadn't provided any washing soap. Sabiti members, am I lying? Really? So they hadn't provided any soap this semester, and no toilet fresheners for the bad smell. And then Toilets, flushing water was inconsistent, especially in the canteen toilets, and toilet paper was provided once a day, which was not enough for the number of people that used them. Then, if you've been to the canteen toilets, there are those black flies, the black flies on the walls in the toilet, which were caused by, if you're entering the toilet like this, there is water, stagnant water, and then also sometimes in the corridor of the toilet, within the toilet, there's also stagnant water. So that stagnant water attracts the flies, or the toilet flies, not the big blue ones, but those small ones that are like when you touch them, they just disseminate or something like that, which causes discomfort when someone goes in. And then the sink was also spoiled. When you open the water, it would leak, and the sink was also unstable, which makes it hard for someone to wash their hands. These are some of the pics we took for proof. Yeah, she has changed. There, someone didn't flash. Okay, she didn't want you to see them. Okay, fine. It's me putting you on. Sorry. I didn't know, I didn't realize, sorry. So this was, someone hadn't flashed. Then there was no liquid soap. Actually, if you go around, you find that these are many, but there's actually nothing within it. And then no toilet paper. And the flies, if you see them, they're there. Those small black flies. So this was for proof in our presentation that we took. Our situation analysis, we discovered that some of the toilets were actually taken care of and others were being ignored. We discovered that the library toilets are cleaned twice a day and tissue will never run out. Whether you go there in the morning, whether you go there at night, tissue is always there. And we discovered that yes, they put it, the tissue is poor quality, but it's there. Now the toilets that are taken care of are mainly library toilets and these first toilets before you reach Koyoyo. The people there take care of them. But then the toilets that were ignored were Koyoyo toilets and the canteen toilets and the Sabiti toilets. For N block, the toilets there, they try to keep them clean, but then they don't provide tissue. Washing soap is there hand washing soap is there, but there is no tissue. So you find that some toilets are being taken care of and others are being ignored. So that also rose questions amongst us. Our project, where does our project come in? Our project came in as a caution. We wanted to caution the management to take better care of the toilets and also remind the students that once we use the toilets well, they'll be convenient for our use. So you find that our project, we had to go and talk to the management, people in charge of toilet management and maintenance, and we had to also remind the students of toilet etiquette. Because once they learn, or once you remember how to use a toilet well, it will give you the morale to go and use the toilet. Our objectives. No, it's my fault, it's not hers. So our objectives was 1, to encourage proper toilet use among students in UCU, and 2, to encourage an improvement in the managing of the toilets in UCU, especially those in our case study. We had only 2 objectives. Our channels of communication, we wanted to print out posters and stickers with different messages connected to proper toilet use, which would be pinned up in different toilets, and a few notice boards around campus. And we also would use WhatsApp as our social media for wider coverage. We made a video that I think some of you saw it. It was shared in the group, yes, Martha saw it. It was shared in the class communication group, and also the main group. We put it there, and then we also took pictures. Videos that were indeed. Pictures were for evaluation. We chose these particular channels because we believed that they would cover a bigger audience and would reach out to more people rather than individual one-to-one, and rather than one-to-one, because most people are ashamed to talk about toilets. I don't know why. Our target audience were the students and the cleaner and the maintenance, maintenance manager. This was our budget. We came up with a budget. We used the t-shirts for the video. So we needed 2 shirts, and each was 15,000. So the total amount was 30. We needed the posters, and we chose to use 6 posters to go on 6 notice boards, and each was 800. And we used stickers, and we printed out 100 stickers, 52 sets of messages, 50-50. And each was 400 shillings, which added up to 40,000. Okay. Our time scale, we did this project for 3 weeks. 21st June to 25th June was in the first week, where we got to know each other, where we decided to build on our project. We brainstormed the different ideas and chose on toilet management. And we made a proposal that was graded and accepted by our lecturers. And we went ahead to plan the beginning of the implementation of our campaign. 25th June to 30th June, we collected money, where each group member was expected to contribute 10,000, because our total was 78,800 shillings. So since we were 9 group members, we collected 10,000 each, and we decided the extra money would go on extra costs. It's even there. Then the budget was meant to cover the printing, the stickers that would carry our message, and the t-shirts that would be used in the video. And our second week really took a lot of time, because not everyone had sufficient money at that time. People were a bit broke, including myself. So we found that this program was dragged into the 3rd week, because money was, it was struggling. But once we collected it, we came to 2nd to 9th, where we pinned up our posters and put different stickers. I don't know if you guys have seen them. They're everywhere, all the toilets. And we also put up our posters that had different messages around campus. And we had planned in the future to first talk to DOSA for permission to put up the stickers. Then we discovered that actually we would put up the stickers even without permission. Madam, I'm not lying. I'm telling you the truth. So, the coordination was good because everyone wanted to participate. All my group members wanted to participate. So we shared out the stickers, and we assigned each one to put up stickers in different places. Evaluation. I have 5 minutes, so let me try to run this. We put up stickers, not only in our target toilets, but in other toilets as well. For example, dining hall, Koyoyo, no block. You put up 6 stickers, 6 posters on 6 notice boards. That was on M block, M, N, K. Yeah, K block. We didn't reach the library. Then we made a video that was shared on the WhatsApp platforms. We talked to the cleaners and the maintenance manager who sit, you see those things, they look like containers? That's where they sit. So we talked to them and discovered that Sabiti is not meant to be given toilet paper. Students are supposed to bring the toilet paper themselves. But they promised to start putting soap. I don't know if they have. I'll go back. Then, Alan Galpin, I went there personally to talk to the doctor, and he said he wouldn't reveal the statistics for ethical reasons. I hear they're not supposed to reveal them. But he said there has been a reduce in UTI-related diseases since the semester began. And he said either our campaign was really effective or people were still scared to go and, I have candida or something. But he said there was an improvement, but he refused to reveal the statistics. The maintainers promised to the maintain group, the people who maintain the toilets, promised to spray the downer toilets, but they told us they couldn't spray them with them in use. So they had to wait for the semester to close, so they spray the toilets, and hopefully the flies will go away. But they say they'll talk to the people supposed to clean there, so that they see that they clean the toilets. And toilet paper and soap has been provided at least twice a day in the toilets. That means when we went to speak to those people, it was effective. If you go to the different toilets, despite only targeted toilets, but at least every toilet now, they provide tissue twice a day, and they clean it twice a day. And yeah. Evaluation tools, I think I've said them. Pros, we managed to create a change in our community, which I highly appreciate. And we learned to work as a team and rely on each other as a group, because at the beginning it was struggling. We were all strangers, but with time we learned to work as a team. Everyone knew what they were supposed to do and agreed to do it. We learned to deal with our responsibilities, and we got to know the people in charge of the toilet maintenance and where they sit. We didn't know, and I believe most of you don't know. So they sit on those trailer thingies. Then the cons, we had really limited time. Let me hurry. We had limited time. People found toilet management and toilet use a joke, yet it's an essential. You talk to someone and tell them, what do you think about the toilets? And instead of telling you what they think, they start laughing. People are really, I don't know whether they are sensitive about talking about toilet habits, or they just find it inappropriate, or they find it funny. I haven't figured that out, but they'll find it funny. And then we had a hard time coordinating as a group in the first week, like I said. We were all strangers, so you'd find that there's a bit of resistance or resentment among group members, but once we got through it, we became one. Yeah, group responsibilities. Nasasira Patience, I don't know where she's around. Yeah, she's there. And among Indewara, they're there together. They were in charge of documenting our things. So they helped actually keep track of the activities we had done. Nachanzi Rose, she's there. She was in charge of the videography. Chigongo and Abel, who were in charge of the printeries. That's the posters, the shirts, and the postcard shirts and stickers. And Chigongo is also the assistant group leader. Abel was the treasurer. He was in charge of money collection. And I myself, Napa Rachel, I was the group leader. We have some videos, I think I know.
Dirty toilets are really disgusting, so please remember to flush. Wipe the seats in case you sprinkle.
One of the things that we must observe in our society is a clean toilet for everyone. There's an aspect of keeping it a restroom for everybody. So today for RJ and Solutions campaign, we campaign for clean toilets for everybody. Have the good essential toilet etiquette such as washing your hands, using toilet paper, flushing, wiping the toilet seat when you sprinkle. How about you keep clean toilets for everybody so that it's comfortable for everybody in your society? Do away with things like diseases, unwanted infections, and all so much more. Nature and Zeros representing for R&J Solutions. Let's keep toilets a restroom.
And there was also some other pictures. Yeah, there were other videos. These were some of the stickers we put up. The other pictures, I don't know why they refused to come up. But they were there. The other videos are in a different...
For the 3 years that I've been in UCU, at least I've noticed that the great changes in the UCU toilets, and all the credit goes to the R&J Solutions company. At least they've played a very good role in the promoting of the cleanness of the UCU toilets. And then there are also stickers. There are also stickers in the toilets, like reminding people. You know, there are some people who go and they don't flush. So when you read the stickers, like, keep me clean.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I've used time over time. Any questions? Like I told you, people either find talking about toilets inappropriate, or they find it sensitive, or they find it funny. So you find that people that were approached used to laugh. You tell them, okay, can you help me? What do you think about the toilet? And they burst into laughter. So I really don't know why they did that. R&J. You're welcome.
You said you talked to management. Is there evidence about that? Yeah. You said you talked to management, so.
Engagement. Audio, I went there personally because, like I told you, we had different responsibilities. So as my roommates were chasing theirs, I kind of forgot about recording him.
Another observation was that you labored to explain the situation of the toilets because you misplaced your photo. Okay? I wish the photo was within the content where you were trying to explain the situation of the toilets. But you first of all labored explaining, then the picture came later. You see that, huh?
Thank you very much. You actually pulled this off. But I would like to caution that you cannot directly relate the drop in the UTI cases to your campaign, because UTIs are caused by many other factors apart from dirty toilets. And it's actually said that dirty toilets are not exactly a factor, although they are not encouraged. So it's really a bit of a trick for you to attribute that to your campaign. You needed to have done more research, and we pointed this out at your conception stage. You need to do some more homework on that.
Did you at one point in time make a reflection why the library toilets are clean and the other side is not clean? Did you make that reflection at one point? I forgot. Oh, please.
Yes, about that, some toilets being ignored and others being worked on. They told me that every toilet block or everywhere that has a toilet has specific cleaners, like people that are supposed to clean them. So they give them what is needed, and they don't follow up. So you find that some actually do their work and others are not, I don't want to say reluctant, but take their time to clean the toilets. They clean them in the morning maybe and think, I'll do it in the evening again. And that's why you find that some of the Sabiti toilets are locked because they don't want the students to dirten them and they don't want to work over and over again.
Is group 6 around? Are the members of group 6 here? Group 6, that is at Shina's group. Okay. Yeah, but Kasasura is here. Yeah, I think you're the next group to present. Yes, according to the schedule that we created before lunch, this is the last group presenting on that schedule. So I think it's time we think about the group that is presenting next. I wonder which groups are here. We have group 6 for Atwaire Shina. We have Dennis Musomba. If any of those is present, so your group goes next. Which group is that? 8. For Musomba. Okay. And the Gomira is here? The Gomira group. So you will be presenting after that group. And is Agwang Martha's group here? It is here? Class.
Good afternoon. I hope my group members will be on their way as we are presenting this campaign. First and foremost, we would like to thank everyone who participated in our campaign. The traffic awareness campaign in UCU was our campaign led by the 9-star consultants, which were members in this group. And our motto was real people, real PR, and real results. This we did as a consultancy. We chose this why we chose this campaign, the traffic awareness campaign. We chose this campaign after an observation that stakeholders in the 9-star consultancy PR firm had recognized some weaknesses about how traffic rules were not being respected within Uganda Christian University premises. And we picked out some issues as we were doing this campaign, like ignorance and negligence of traffic rules in UCU, like random parking of cars within the university campus, reckless driving, pedestrian conduct while moving in campus, unqualified drivers within campus, and also identification of designated walk pathways. These are some of the issues we really put a point on. Random parking of cars in UCU, we realized many people fall part of that, and one of our lecturers actually pleaded guilty to this, and that was Miss Anne Mugunga. Reckless driving, and she also pleaded guilty to that in her interview. It will be part of our team. Pedestrian conduct while moving on campus. Most of the students pleaded guilty to this, as we shall show you in the pictures. Then we went ahead. In the background, literally we didn't see much of this campaign being done before. When you try to read about, no one had written about this campaign like previously. So our campaign was based on the observation that me and my group members found about the carelessness of traffic rules that were not being properly followed within the campus premises. The scope of our study in our campaign, we realized since there was no too much literature written about it within campus, so what we did, we realized in our campaign we used one case study, and in this case study we used the Daily Monitor Keep in Your Lane campaign they ran, where they used their media organization, and realized this was the Nation Media, headed by Aga Khan, where they used KFM, NTV, and Daily Monitor. They could take pictures and put them on their different media channels to make sure that these people follow the right procedures of driving. And this, we related it to our campaign. We realized that the reason why Nation Media did this campaign was not because it was not done before. They did this campaign just to remind people that this they should follow. They should not forget that any danger can come out of this. So our campaign was not that the rules are not there in UCU. Our campaign is to awaken the people and drivers plus the pedestrians in UCU that they should really wake up and respect these rules. Problem statement. In our problem statement, realize as a firm, our motive is to keep a good image of the company, and our company or organization, in this case, is UCU. And we realize UCU has not registered serious accidents within the campus, and we are not waiting to see these accidents happen. So that's why we are sending a message, and we are trying to wake the people up that let's not wait for an accident to happen. Let's not wait for anything to happen for us to react to this campaign. So in this, we say prevention is always better than cure, because don't wait for something to happen and then create whatever is going to happen. And in our objectives, we had 3 objectives while we were doing this campaign. Our first objective was to create awareness for safe driving and traffic policies within UCU. We realized that people were not driving safely within UCU, and as we carried out an interview, Mr. Isabilie Frank went ahead to say about that, and still Miss Anne Mugunga also stretched that point because she was a victim. And the reasons people were giving, really, they are really not serious. It was like, I just want to be at the department in 5 minutes, so I just cruise faster. And Mr. Isabilie was like, you are walking on the compound, you feel relaxed when your earphones are in the ears. So that's why sometimes they do it. To create awareness about the designated pedestrian pathways, we realize that people don't know exactly where to move and when to move. That this is a road, but still there is a pathway on top of it. So people, instead of using the pathways, they actually move within the road. So they literally move in the middle of the road. That was wrong, and it will be stretched in the pictures. To create awareness about designated parking areas, I think most lecturers and most drivers fall victims of this. You find cars parked anywhere. You'll find a car parked on the Sabiti Hall. You'll find cars parked within the middle of the campus, anywhere. Yet in the campus we have designated parking pathways. Now, our strategy, as we are trying to pass out this campaign, our communication strategy to the campaign will include the following: channels of communication. The first method of communication is social media, and the channel to be used is WhatsApp. The second method will be print media. And so putting all that aside, social media, we tried this. We created a WhatsApp group, and we made sure that all of us, in whatever WhatsApp group you are in, as long as it's a university campus, you should share that information. We went ahead to communicate to lecturers. I think most lecturers shared our information. We could share our links as we were doing this, and our lecturers, I think, received that, and other drivers within campus and pedestrians. Leaving that aside, we also did presentations. We got a chance to present to the UCU during community worship. We presented our campaign in order to reach the big scope of the area in UCU. We realized most students were within the UCU campus. So that is why we went ahead to present it. And luckily enough, one of our success stories, we got a talk, a one-on-one with the VC of this university, that is Dr. John Senyonyi, Professor Canon. He told us it is a good campaign. He had not yet seen it happen, and he actually told us to go ahead. And in our going ahead, we also aired this on the UCU website. Our campaign was on the UCU website, and we sent the link to our lecturers and the different concerned attachments. We went ahead to share our links to the different lecturers, like Dr. Napakol, Dr. Chibita, and they gave us feedback. There are also other channels that we shall use to disseminate our message to the tangible audience that will be put in the strategic places inside the universities. In this, we carried out, we printed out flyers. I think most of you have been given flyers during our campaign, especially when we decided to launch it in the university on the Community Worship Day. And that week, we went out giving out flyers on the stopping areas, at the entrance, giving out flyers to drivers. Posters. I think even when you went, you got in within the university library, you saw some posters of us. Posters at all notice boards within campus. Our campaign is there. Banners. We went ahead to print out banners, and our banners are in, if you go at the entrance of the small gate, there's a big banner telling you of how to respect the traffic rules within UCU. We also put some big banner at the main gate. Up there, it is somewhere. So that banner was there for some time, though during graduation they removed it, but then they put it back. Our target audience. We realized in our target audience, we were most dealing with internal publics that included students, UCU staff, and non-staff. Then also realized in our external publics that included the parents and visitors who come within UCU. So traffic rules is not all about driving, it's all even about people who walk within campus. So the pedestrians and those visitors who came within UCU, they also needed to be aware of this. So that's why we talked to the UCU security team in our interviews, as you'll see in the video, and we stretched a point in our interview. He also promised the head of UCU security to always make it a point that when you're receiving a driver coming in, maybe it's better you ask him, if you don't see him qualifying to have a driving permit, can I have your driving permit? Just in case, because prevention is better than cure. So our key message was safe driving can save lives. So if you're driving safely while within campus, it will save a lot of lives. It will refuse a lot of things that could happen and damage that could be caused on the university. Our time scale, this campaign is going to run till August. Estimated time scale is 2 weeks. We realized that, okay, as we were running this campaign, the more we became more active, we were still on the proposer side before the 2 weeks, but when we became so active in it, we gave it August 2 weeks. That's when we became so more practical in it. Evaluation, we shall issue out questionnaires to a sample of 7 students and 3 non-students. Observation, we shall endeavor to observe and write down our findings, thus analyzing the effectiveness of our channels. What has been done, okay, it's not the literature, but the questions we asked ourselves before we did this campaign was what has been done in this area before? And the answers we got is none has been done by the university. How has it been done? Since we are the first ones to do it, so be glad to know that this is how it has been done. Where does your project come in? It comes in because it is affecting the university, the students, and the people who come in while driving cars. Responses to the literature review. Road signs, humps, and roundabouts have been put in place through construction. Even after the above have been done, there is still recklessness and people still don't follow the traffic rules. So while we did this campaign, we realized that still UCU took a measure by putting up these rules. It's not that they don't exist. Our lecturer advised us, that was Mr. Muranya Richard, he advised us to go and inquire from the people who deal with estates, why if these things are in existence. And when we went there, actually we didn't find much. They were telling us that these things are there. These people just don't follow them. So your campaign is actually so relevant that it is going to remind them to follow these signs, these traffic rules. It is not, so the university has tried to put them in place. But then us following them is a different thing. I think that's where our campaigns become more effective. And then we are trying to show you, since that this is not rocket science, so these things happen. You see on the left, this guy is on a boda. First of all, bodas are not allowed within campus. And then this person sitting on is speaking on phone. I'm talking about the parking areas. Look at where this person is parking, in the middle of the road, where it's not allowed. From the left, you can read the words that follow with it. Now, people who follow the traffic rules, you see this gentleman is really walking on the pedestrian pathway. So he's leaving the road for the cars. Now, look at someone doing something wrong. This is a corner, first of all, and he's parking in front of Nsibambi. It was a good shot by Luanzo Maxwell. Credit for that. This is what we are talking about. And you can see people are in the middle of the road. Actually, they are having a chat. So how do you have a chat in between of the middle of the road? Seriously, this is wrong. Now, this is one of the previous campaign, that is UCU Fit. She was recommending us to talk about this, and you can see what we talk about, moving sluggishly. Yeah? So they are moving sluggishly, they are having earphones, some are texting, some are having a conversation. That is really not right. You're not supposed to move while texting. That could lead to an accident. Now, look at this. How do you even park your motorcycles in front of the DH? First of all, they are not allowed within the university premises. They are not. They are watching football. So the university doesn't accommodate this. They are not allowed. And then you see this. look at this place. Someone is really parking in front of the DH. It is not a parking area. You can even strictly see this. I think you can see the different things. This he's moving while he's speaking on phone. He's even taking a picture for us while in between of the road. That is something that is unacceptable. The road signs, I think you can see them. Keep left. The library right, the library lane or raise. You see, so the UCU Estates has put up these things, but people don't follow them. What I'm talking about, look at a kid playing in between of the road. Look at this one, moving sluggishly, actually even pausing. She didn't know we were taking the picture. So you see the zebra crossing. These people are moving still. What we were talking about, pedestrian pathways. They are moving in between the road. Pedestrian pathway is down, but they are using the wrong pathway. Actually using the wrong side. So UCU has done everything possible, but we realized in our campaign, we had to wake people up that really, as a driver, as you're moving in, don't skip these signs, these road signs that are put in. Most drivers have seen it, but they don't respect it. You see the overspeeding, the Sports Avenue. Okay, now, we realized as we were doing this, we had to, the time scale. But then before the time scale, we gave people responsibilities. You can see as a group leader, I took over the duty to give my fellow students responsibilities, Miracle Tutu, pinning up posters. So whatever poster you saw, just know it's a success story of her. Katushabe Brenda carried out interviews. We dealt with designing, producing of posters, putting things online, me and Maxwell. Richard distributing flyers. Bella was monitoring the printing and posters. Nabukalu Theodora was putting out information on social media. And then on the timescale, 6th June 2018, that was the introduction of our campaign. That is when the lecturers accepted it, giving out different duties to the group members. That was what we did on 12th June. 15th June agreed to posters and different what. So that is our timescale. When we did a meeting with the OC police station. Now, interviews. As you can see, it wasn't rocket science when we were telling you these people were actually, you can see Mr. Frank, and then we did one with Miss Mugunga Ann, and so she will get the detailed print of the pictures with that. For the interviews, we got a chance to talk to a couple of people. That is Mr. Isabilio Frank, Mr. Kijam Bruno, one of our students who's a driver. He drives a motorbike. And so these are some of the things we were trying to do as we were trying to campaign. As you can see, we are going to put up a banner by this time at the main gate and the entrance. This is one of our work. So you can follow, you can go on the UCU Twitter, actually put up the links, the UCU Facebook account, the website. One thing we forgot, we wrote a story. It is going to feature in the next standard. The standard that is going to get out, that will talk about the UCU awareness, traffic awareness campaign. And then the website, we also have a story that is running. So you can check out this all on, we can see how we are doing our work, how we present. This is the presentations we did in Koyoyo Hall. Our banners, the budget that we used, every member was paying 15,000 shillings. The banners were 90,000 shillings. Flyers and posters costed 30,000, that one. And the total was 120,000. So as you can see, but then in conclusion, this doesn't mean we didn't face any challenges as you are dealing with this campaign. We have only gave you the success of our campaign just because sometimes when you are successful, people tend to get you better. It's not good to talk about the challenges that you faced, but I'll get a chance to tell you some of the challenges we faced. Getting access to some people to give us interviews, getting pictures of some students as they are doing the wrong acts of driving. And most of all, one of the biggest challenges at the start was when our lecturer told us that our campaign was not that relevant. and she saw no use for us to do it. But then one of the success stories I can tell you is, as we went on to do this campaign, she actually boosted us and she told us our campaign is actually very relevant to her right now. She didn't see it in the first place being relevant. Recommendations after this, the VC promised us that they are going to actually carry out this campaign more every semester. They will pick a day where they will be communicating to students about traffic awareness campaign. And in our recommendations, we also put it in our campaign. And then another recommendation is, don't think that you know the right thing to do if you don't follow it. If you know driving bad is not good, if you know overspeeding is not good, if you know putting earphones is not good, so there is no justification you can give while you are within campus. Thank you for listening to me. Hey, one video that we didn't play, that is the last video. It's around 1 or 2 minutes. Maybe you can watch it. You'll see how we carried out this campaign.
Nine Star Consultants presents the traffic awareness campaign that is aimed at informing and sensitizing the students of Uganda Christian University on the rules of the road that is within the campus. Nine Star Consultants presents the traffic safety campaign within Uganda Christian University, Mukono. We are aiming our campaign at sensitizing the students of Uganda Christian University about the road safety within the university. There are very many cases where students park their cars in undesignated parking areas. This campaign is there to enlighten and educate people about the parking areas, and also to educate and enlighten the pedestrians about the pedestrian walkways.
My take about the traffic in UCU is in a dire state, I would say. Students, most of the students, I feel like maybe not all of them maybe they have driving permits, they don't know how to drive. Just do it for a show, for a show. When you take a look at the parking, the way they park their car, put up something like fines. Yeah, fine whoever goes against what the sign posts. Yes, they should design some rules and regulations.
UCU as an institution, it has a well-laid traffic policy which is in place to regulate both the pedestrians and vehicles. When you are entering UCU, at the main gate, there are even signs, because we regulate the speed. The whole of the university, you have to drive not exceeding 20 kilometers per hour. It's very bad for somebody to walk when he has put headsets in the ears, because he will not be able, or she will not be able to hear what is surrounding him or her. So I advise students or even other people to desist from that habit, because they are putting their lives at a risk. For those ones who park recklessly, it's a pity.
Uganda Christian University decided to make this campus so beautiful in 2017 that they constructed and they made this road so tarmac. But guess what? People misuse the road. There are humps, everything is indicated. But guess what? People do not use these signs and do not respond to them. What will the authority do? 9 Star Consultant, Uganda Christian University, presenting.
any questions? That was our campaign in the video. And
Okay.
maybe one thing I was happy about is every member of my group participated in this. I think you could see in the video, everyone had a part to play in taking photos, in doing digital, in video editing. That's why you don't see me anywhere. So I'm so grateful for my
Okay,
members.
I think all the questions are answered. Let's have the next group. Okay, that is Musomba. Then it's Musomba's group.
Good afternoon. This is a presentation by Sevens Public Relations Firm, and our project was basically a charity project, and we were 7 members. That is why it's called Sevens Public Relations Firm. And I must say this was a very nice project to work with. I worked with Nikki, I worked with Musumba, I worked with Agatha, I worked with Monique, I worked with Charity, and it was interesting to get along because we got to know each other better, and we also got to know that it is important to help people. And yeah, our scope, we worked with Bishop West Primary School, Mukono, and we noticed that at the school, there's a special needs program which is run at the school, and there are over 60 children in it. But being the few members we are, we could not help everyone. So we picked 10 students, and they were identified by their teacher, who is called Mrs. Nora Birawa. And you find that these children have different special needs, and some of them were deaf, some were crippled, some were total orphans, some had autism and Down syndrome conditions. And then total orphans, this is where the children did not have both parents, both mom and dad. And then we tried to do some bit of research whereby we looked into the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development, and we found out that Uganda has 57% of children, and 14% of these children are actually orphans. And 14% is 2.3 million. And you can also see that there's also a figure for those kids that are HIV positive. They're also needy children. And then we went ahead to also do statistics that actually show you that it is very difficult to pick children from the streets and transform them. Most times they go there because they're needy children and they need help, but they don't have the help that they're supposed to get. And then our background, we found out that Bishop West Primary School was started in 1910 by Bishop Turner of Church of Uganda. And it has in total, currently, it has 688 children. And day scholars pay 60,000 shillings per term. Boarding students pay 225,000 per term. And I already talked about the special needs program, whereby almost all the children who are in boarding are actually special needs children. Most of them maybe can pay school fees, but they do not have shoes for after class. They do not have books. They do not have pens. They don't even have just pocket money to eat, maybe when you're tired of portion and beans. It's very difficult for these children. And then our problem statement was many of them do not receive and have no access to scholastic materials throughout the term, as were informed by their teacher, Madam Nora Birawa. She kept on asking us if we had similar programs in UCU that could help these children. But we told her this was a class project and we were willing to help. We had come as people who have goodwill and people who are generous, and we wanted to help. We wanted to know what we could do. And then I also gave a list of the children that we actually picked, the 10 children that were given to us, and also put their disabilities. We had Nagudi Claire, she's deaf. We had Kulawe Ashraf, he has cerebral paralysis and he's deaf. Cerebral paralysis is the same thing as autism. Most times they don't understand very well. So you find that when they're teaching them, it's difficult for them to concentrate. Most of the times, you find that if they're teaching them math and the children is in the mood for dancing at that time, the teacher has to go pick a drum and come and teach music at that time. And then Chisache Fiona is blind and deaf. Sebuliba Samuel has speech impairment and he's deaf. Speech impairment, he can listen a bit, but with the help of hearing aid. So when the batteries get done, he cannot listen at all. He has to do the sign language. And then we had Sevalu Maiko. The teacher kept on praising him. She actually told us he was one of the best children, but he was needy. He has Down syndrome, and he's also deaf. With Down syndrome, you're always shaking your head, you're nodding your head, and you actually don't understand. You also don't walk very well. But she told us he's a good student, he's rather pupil, and he's doing his best. He tries. When he's free, when he's feeling better, he does work. Nakato Mary Kevin, she's half blind and half deaf. What do I mean? You find that when there's too much light, she can't exactly see. And also deaf, she still needs the aid of she needs the help of hearing aid. Had Waswa Robert, he's a total orphan. I said earlier on, total orphan is where you do not have both parents. And that means that when you come to school, or if a relative brings you to school, they're not going to give you any pocket money, they're not going to give you any requirements. And then we had Nambi Goretti, who was deaf and lacks fees. She's on sponsorship by the school, but it's also not enough. And then finally we had Moanguzi Charles, who is also deaf and crippled. These are the 10 students we picked. This is the day we went to see. This is their teacher, Madame Nora Biravo, and these are the 10 children, as you can see. And there's Nikki, and then the rest were taking photographs. But there's a photo credit for Nyakato Monique. I couldn't put all the pictures here. And then we invited them for community worship, and they came and attended it. But then, this is a short video of our announcement in Koyo Hall. We're given about 2 minutes, and I'll play it.
Mass Communication, and we are running a campaign together with Bishop West Primary School to give a hand and keep a child in school. And we're asking for the support from you. We're going to be coming in your hostel, and the children are right in front of us. So we're asking you to support us. We'll be coming to your lecture rooms, and we'll also be coming to your hostels, and we ask for your support. These students are deaf, and we need to support them by providing basic needs. Thank you.
That was our group, community worship. For those of you who attended, you must have seen us there. Byron can attest to that. He said he saw us. And then this was during community worship. The project pupils and Koyo Hall on Tuesday attending community worship, and the photo credit was me. The reason why they're looking like this, they were looking at their teacher for instructions, but I have a picture to show that. She was trying to tell them, some of them hear, it's not that they're all deaf, they do listen, but it's difficult, they cannot speak. And sometimes when you talk to them, they take long to understand. So sign language is easier for them. Many of them actually use the sign language, and she was trying to tell them whatever was going on and being preached. This was after community worship. All of us came into the picture, and Musumba took the picture. That's why he's not there. And then we have an implementation strategy. Our target audience was UCU community and Bishop West Primary School. UCU being the provident, and Bishop West was the benefactor. Then we had key messages, and these messages, we all as a group sat down and contributed to these messages. We had give a hand to keep a child in school. We had blessed is a hand that gives than that receives. God loves a cheerful giver. That was specifically given by Agatha. She liked it. Then there was a generous soul will be made rich, and he who waters will be watered. That was from Proverbs chapter 11, verse 25. And then our objectives were to ensure that the special needs education children are identified, assessed, and provided for. Then to identify the roles and responsibilities of the team providing support for the group of the 10 children. To recognize and respond to pupils' diverse needs. These are our major objectives. We worked with them and we managed to accomplish all three. Then our channels of communication were peer-to-peer outreaches, that is to say going out to hostels to mobilize students to support our cause. We actually went out to, we started with NH, Koyo Hall Community Worship, and then we went out to hostels, then we managed to go around to a few classes whereby the response wasn't very positive. But I must say in the Sabiti Hall and the hostels that some of us live in, we got positive feedback, and then some of them kept promising, can you guys come back? Do you have more time? How long is this running? And we told them this is a class project. We wish we had more time to do this because they are very willing and generous. Then articles, specifically an opinion article and a feature article. I'm going to say this about the articles. I did write them. I submitted them, but they were not published. I have I'll submit the evidence to you. And then community worship. Thank you. Community worship, where we intend to tell the UC community about our project. You already saw that. We went on to community worship. We invited the students who came around with their teacher, and we actually showed them to our community here. Then social media posts, that is to say, writing about our project and objectives and posting them on Facebook. Now, about social media, we didn't exactly manage to write a post because it's difficult for people to actually reach out to you and contribute to you after reading on social media. So what we did, Musumba went out to classes, even during our lectures. After the lectures, he would announce and say, guys, we are collecting money. We are collecting a few things for the needy children at Bishop West Primary School. The class can bear me witness because he kept on announcing, Nikki and I are in charge of this. That's why there's Nikki and Musumba, and then I did the newspapers. Then the other activities, we did them together as a group. So everyone was kind of involved. We did this work together, we grew together, and we loved one another. And then we have the time scale, which I drew. I've already explained this, except that the time scale has dates. We have mobilization, which we did, writing post, collection of scholastic materials by the 7th PR team. We did this as a team. Musumba collected from his hostel, Charity collected from her own, Nikki, I, and Pony, and Agatha collected from Sabiti. And then visiting of the project beneficiaries by the 7th PR team. We did that. We went there. I have pictures I'll show you later on. And then evaluation. This will be done on the 26th June 2018 using feedback from Bishop West Primary School. In case members get scholastic materials of shillings 10,000, that would be a success accomplished. If we collect a minimum of 70,000. Now, these were our prospects of the project. We said if all goes bad, we can collect things worth 10,000, at least each one of us. But if all goes well, then our minimum amount of money would be 70,000. And then our budget, this is our budget. We drew it up and we ended up with a working budget of 52,000 if everything went bad, like the worst of it. This was our budget, and we had agreed that if we don't get anything, each member is going to contribute 7,500 to total up this so that we can buy these things that we had promised the school children. And then that was a note. We intend to tabulate whatever contributions we collect from the UC community into a table at the end of our project. Then finally, after collecting our things and then going to the school, this was our evaluation as a group. We sat down and talked about it. Our project was helping and providing scholastic materials to at least 10 needy children from the special needs program at Bishop West Primary School. Like I told you earlier, they were identified and picked by their teacher at the school because we do not know them and we do not know what needs they need. Then we had a working budget of 52,000, like I told you earlier, but our budget included only books, pens, and out-of-class sanders, as we had stated above. We, however, surpassed the budget and thankfully got a sumptuous sum of shilling 75,000. And I must say this was a success because we got over the minimum. We got 75,000, and on top of that, we got other scholastic materials besides what was in our budget. We got shoes, we got clothes, we got soap, we got sugar. We managed to collect clothes, soap, books, pens, toilet paper, sugar, sanitary towels, and shoes. And I must say the shoes we collected, all the 8 pairs were brand new shoes. People gave us brand new shoes, and it was amazing. We had 25 pens collected, we had 10 books collected, we had 8 packs of sanitary towels collected, we had 7 pairs, there's supposed to be 8 pairs of shoes, I'm sorry. Then we had soap, we collected 10 bars, but it was not part of our scholastic materials to be provided for. Then we had toilet paper, we collected 3 rolls, then clothes. I didn't know how to count them, but we counted piece by piece, like a top, a trouser, a shirt, something like that. So in total there were over 30 pieces that we collected from Sabiti mainly. And then the money, we collected 74,000, and then someone added the 1,000, which I earlier said was 75. Basing on the above results, we would like to say that our project idea was a success, and we are glad we did it, and we would be very willing to do so over and over again if given a chance. We also, as a team, had experiences with these children, hearing their stories and struggles with life, changed us and impacted our lives. And I must say, I did a vox pop of our group members, and this is what we came up with. Every member had something to say about it. Agatha said this was a whole new lesson and challenge for me altogether. People's ability to give without holding back was the most beautiful but also challenging thing I encountered during this project. People gave their best, like new shoes that they haven't used themselves. This selfless act by both the team and the entire UCU community was the best part of the project. That was Agatha for you. Musumba said it was a successful project that gave us an opportunity to serve beyond self. Charity Piloya said it was a successful project because at the end of it, we were able to respond to the pupils' diverse needs. Monique said the project was successful since we achieved our main objectives. Nikki said, I found the project so amazing because we had different interesting ideas that made the project successful. And Pony said the project was fun because we interacted with the pupils with different disabilities, such as the deaf using sign language. We learned a little bit of sign language. And Agatha, you remember? And then I said our project developed and molded me into a better person, generous and thankful than I've ever been. It gave me a life experience I wouldn't have got from anywhere else but here. This is where, after interacting and listening to the children's stories, I saw how much they were grateful for our visits and providing for some of their school needs. It was an encouragement to them and us as a team to be generous and willing to help those who are in need. And then, as a team, we bought for those children some food because we came up as a group and decided that these children have been having portion beans since they came to school. So we bought each one of them a pack of fries and a soda as a team. Despite our success, we had challenges. After telling you about the successes and everything, we had challenges like lack of communication between the team and the direct benefactors of our project, who are the children. This was hindered due to their condition. And I must say, we were trying to communicate with them, so the teacher had to interpret for them. On this picture, you can see she was trying to say they are saying this, because she told us, what would you like to tell these children? And all of us had a word for them. We told them, work hard, stay focused, don't give up. So she had to interpret all of what we said for them when we went there. Then we had a problem of time constraint. This is because we would have loved to run this campaign for a longer time so that we get more things and provide for more children. That is what we would have loved as a group. But because of the time and the fact that it's classwork, we had to cut it down to about 3 weeks. And then as a team, we're not able to help more children, save for the 10 we had identified. This was a challenge to us due to the limited resources within our reach and the fact that their teacher asked if we had more. Like I said earlier on, she only picked for us 10 students, and she kept telling us, do you have more programs that could help other children besides the 10? And we told her we do not have. But if it was in our means and we had more things, we would have given them on our own. But we are students, we are still depending on our parents, and we gave what we could. It was also difficult for us to be sure that the things we had handed over to the teacher would be distributed and given directly to the pupils. This is because in our analysis of the whole interaction with the teacher, we noticed that there are those children she seemed to appreciate more than others. Because she kept on saying, Sebalu, and then there's Fiona. She kept on like appreciating like 2 or 3 of them. But these were 10 children. And then there's one particular, she kept on telling us, he's very stubborn. He's so stubborn, he doesn't want to do this. But then he was part of the project and we were helping all of them. So we had our doubts. Maybe she will, of course, distribute the things, but not equally. And then here, Musumba was handing over the things that we had collected together. And this was when we were actually trying to get to know the children personally, because their teacher was this side, you might not see, but Pony, Agatha, and Charity were listening to the teacher, because she kept on, like, we wanted to ask questions, we wanted to ask them questions, so she was interpreting from the side while the children were also answering us, then she would tell us the response. That's how we're able to communicate using sign language. Then we also had another challenge whereby the teacher in our final meeting and handover replaced some of the children. I'm going to wrap up. I've been told I have 1 minute. You realize that in the beginning, I can't go back to the beginning. There was a girl, she was more like dark and short. She was called Chisache. Chisache was replaced by someone else at the final meeting, because we looked for her. We're like, Agatha kept on saying, there's this girl who touched our hands, who greeted us the very first time we came here, where is she? And she kept saying, no, it is her, but of course you can't tell. So that was one of our challenges. So, like, about 2 of them were replaced. So we really don't know why. And then I already talked about being skeptical about the teacher having favored children, as she kept praising some of them. And then this is where we're serving them, Musumba and Pony, and then there's Nikki and me the other side. We're serving the children after we had bought them the drinks and the food. Here they were enjoying the food we had just gotten for them. And then finally, the 7th PR team was glad and happy to carry out this project as we shared, planned, discussed, and learned from one another. We are thankful to the UCU community, Bishop West Primary School, and our lecturers who gave us a go-ahead in this project. We also recommend and encourage students or anyone willing to do this project again to carry on, because it is a humbling experience to see the gratitude in the eyes and faces of the little children who received the help they need. Thank you so much. Any questions?
Yes, I saw that in your problem statement, you had text that should have gone in the situation analysis or even the scope of the problem. Okay, so you might need to refine that. And I saw that you had channels, and for the channels you were telling us how you are going to work with the channels, but then you are not telling us what they were meant to accomplish. You get me clear? Yeah. Those are my questions.
I had earlier on talked about our key messages, and because of these channels, we managed to get our messages out with an objective of creating awareness about our project. Any other question?
the comments we are making, please, I would advise that you go back to your documents and perhaps make reconsiderations of those, because I think we are going to upload these documents somewhere so that in future people can start off the work you did and maybe they do something different. Okay?
So we would like to thank all of you for your presentations. I think you agree that you've all done a good job. And I hope that you've appreciated the power of working together. We have 3 groups that haven't been able to present today. Unfortunately, time will not allow us to do that. But we have an hour tomorrow, so we'll try to have everybody present in that 1 hour, because we need to wrap up and you start to prepare for your exam. And, pardon? Okay, we have, okay, tomorrow we'll have group 9, Go Fast, which is the dental health project. That will be followed by group 6. Okay, the one that, group 6 will come next after cyberbullying, the one that's on cyberbullying, and then we'll have group 10, the one that's dealing with the STDs at UCU. So please keep time, be organized. I'm sure your files are already uploaded, so we'll not have a problem keeping time. And would request that we all come, because we want to finalize and hand over the prize, if that's what you want to call it, to the winning team tomorrow. So would appreciate it if somehow you all kept around and you were able to listen to our final remarks before we hand over the prize. Would also like to announce that please return the chairs that you brought in here. Return them to wherever you got them from. Would really appreciate that. So if there are no questions or comments, let's call it a day, and we'll meet tomorrow. Okay? Thank you very much.
And let's go for audience research.